It's the Porkmeister here again. Yes, myself, Mike Parry. I'm one of the two Mikes. You're the other Mike. Who are you?
I am the other Mike. I'm MG, sometimes known as Old MG by you.
Old MG by me.
Even though actually I'm not as old as you are.
Absolutely. And we are with BetSafe, is that right?
We certainly are with BetSafe, and you've got to be in it to win it with BetSafe, of course.
With BetSafe. Now, we're looking at the games for this weekend, and I have to say, an array of fantastic fixtures. And it starts early, because, of course, it's my team, Everton, Mike, up at Goodison Park.
Friday night,
Crystal Palace going up there. Everton had a great start to the season. Then they stumbled against Bournemouth. Now they've got to restore their fortunes with Palace. How do you think it's going to go?
They have, but when you say stumbled against Bournemouth, I mean, it was a really, really unexpected result. I don't think anybody last week expected that to happen. Lost 1-0. Crystal Palace not doing too badly at all.
Oh, they're doing brilliantly.
I think Everton are going to struggle here, actually, because I think they're going to come off that loss and they're going to be slightly unsure of themselves, right?
Okay.
Ronald Koeman's a great manager.
Terrific.
I've said that to you before.
Yeah.
Everton to win 2-1, which is not a bad bet, I would say.
Right.
Would give you what from BetSafe?
About 13-2, I think.
13-2.
But I prefer to go for a 3-1 victory for Everton. You know, a bit more dynamic, a bit more, put your mark on the game, and that could be as much as 10-1.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm actually going to call for Crystal Palace to possibly win this game unexpectedly, right? But so wait until you get a bit closer to the game on Friday before you look for the odds on that. But obviously, I think Crystal Palace might just sneak this one.
Okay, first scorer has got to be Lukaku. Lukaku. Okay, I'm looking for that. We move then to the other team on Merseyside, Liverpool.
Yes.
Of course, you know the way that things work. If Everton are at home, Liverpool have to be away.
That's right.
So where are Liverpool going to be?
Liverpool are going to be at Swansea, and that's the early kick-off on Saturday at 12:30. Liverpool are having a great season so far. Jurgen Klopp has completely revolutionised
They've run into terrific form.
Yeah, they really have. And
Kloppy, he's all over the place. He's facial. He's got big teeth and all this kind of stuff. He was on telly the other night, giving it a few jokes about his playing career. So what do you see happening there?
Well, they've been scoring an awful lot of goals, haven't they? And if they won 4-1, they could get something like 18-1 from
18-1 indeed,
which is a massively good bet, I would say. A lot of value there.
But I'm not sure about that. Talking about first goal scorers, I fancy Coutinho.
Coutinho.
I'd fancy Coutinho. And do you know what?
Why?
You get 5-1 on Coutinho scoring first. So I think that's not bad at all.
Well, I think you've got to go for a Liverpool win for sure.
I would go for Liverpool win, I would, yeah. No. That takes us then to the Sunday games, of course. Now, Manchester United Stoke, I think, is the first one on Sunday. That's the 12 o'clock game.
That is the 12 o'clock game.
And again, I look at these games and I look at the value for money on first scorers. I mean, the world's best footballer, most expensive footballer. Who is it?
Mr. Pogba.
Yeah, what do you get for him to score
you get 13-2 for him to score the first
6.5-1, not bad.
And he has started to look a bit better, hasn't he? I mean, he's starting to sort of get himself into the Premier League.
Yes.
But the funny thing about Stoke, right, is that they are right down the bottom of the division. Mark Hughes is in a terrible, terrible place.
Sorry, Stoke that way.
BetSafe, I'm sure, would give you some odds on him getting sacked. What do you think they would be?
Well, I do happen to know, actually. I was talking to the boys. He's favourite to be the first manager to be sacked.
Yes.
And those odds will increase if they get beaten by Manchester United, which they should do.
Well, they should.
At Old Trafford, and it would then be 7-1 for Mark Hughes to be the first manager to be sacked.
Yes.
Let's talk about the team on the other side of Manchester.
Yes, let's do that. Manchester City, who had an amazing result in the middle of the week, didn't they, with Celtic? I mean, when they went up to Celtic, everybody thought it's going to be 7-0, 8-0, 9-0. Turns out that they nearly lost, and it was 3-3.
That game the other night, 3-3. It was pulsating.
It was. It's the first time they've been held to a draw this season as well.
Well, the first time they held to a draw. Now, the point is, Spurs are a very strong team. Spurs played Everton on the opening day at Goodison. That was a draw. Yeah. Spurs could be the draw specialist against good teams. Supposing it was 1-1.
Well, if Spurs play anything like they played against CSKA Moscow in their earlier Champions League game this week, they might actually be able to hold Manchester City. But I think Manchester City are very, very strong. But a draw gets you 16-3 on BetSafe.
Okay, well, I would actually... I'm going to go here for a Spurs victory. And I'm going to say Spurs could nick this 1-0, because I think City have been rattled, right, for the first time this season. 1-0 would give you 10-1.
That's a bet of the day, actually. That is the bet of the day.
Okay.
But unfortunately, I'm not going to go with you on that. I think Manchester City are actually going to win this game. And obviously, if you want to look for Sergio Aguero to get a goal, you might not get massive odds for that, but maybe he'll score a hat-trick against Spurs. You never know.
He could.
That would be worth doing. What about the late game on Sunday?
Well, Theo Walcott's on fire. Now, Theo Walcott's one of my favourite players. I've been saying this boy should lead an England attack for years, and he's got 7 goals so far this season. He's doing extremely well. He's going to be absolutely constructive in the middle of Arsenal's midfield there when they go to Burnley.
Yeah. Well, Burnley, of course, were expected not to win on Monday night, weren't they? Because they've had a pretty bad start to the season. But actually, Sean Dyche managed to pull their socks up and they beat Watford, which is amazing. Nobody expected that result. No, it's not going to be that easy for Arsenal, I would say.
Yeah, okay, not that easy, but Burnley have come up with some surprise result this season, and I think they could also as well. What I'm thinking about Burnley to score first, 6-1.
Really?
What about
that? That would be a massive surprise. You know, it's worth a bit of money, I suppose. It's worth a bit of value. Yeah. But you've got to go for an Arsenal victory here, I think.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Okay, that sums it all up. So what would you say to conclude this?
I would say it's going to be another fascinating weekend. Yes. It's going to be Everton Palace Friday night kicks it all off. I think Spurs Manchester City, if you're looking for a surprise result, you may be looking at the Palace Everton game, as I said earlier. But you've got to be in it to win it with BetSafe. Keep an eye out as well for betsafe.com to find any of the latest goal scorers and all the latest stuff coming up over the weekend.
That's right. Go to the BetSafe website for the special offers that we will have for you. And remember, in it to win it, only with BetSafe.